as X would say, a. Yeah, I got that one wrong, but it's fine, guys. we joined by Mr. Trushel, who is drawing against Rosenborg. Man United playing 80th minute, still goalless, and Cheese, Mr. Foden, 007. 7 games in the Euros, 0 goals, 0 assists. Guys, Nikrend.
My brother, it's also important that you need to say Rodri, a player of the tournament, as well, after saying that.
Gender needs to come out. And bro, give the guy the Ballon d'Or, honestly. Just give
He
Rodri the
has to.
Ballon d'Or.
They have to.
Bro,
Yeah, I
They
think
have
if
to.
if if Rodri had to get it, Ballon d'Or, no one will complain.
Yeah, he has to.
people will
He deserves
complain,
it.
but he deserves it. I mean, people will say Vinicius, people will say Bellingham. I've seen a few people saying even Lautaro deserves it, and I think he is a shout for Team of the Year, but definitely not Ballon d'Or.
Mhm.
But Rodri, man, come on. Come on.
Yeah,
You
Rodri.
can't not give it to
Rodri's too
him.
good. Yeah, he's just too good.
But I think did I think all day there's a question in the back of my mind. Is like, did England make it too easy for Spain?
No, uh, Spain is good. I mean, we shouldn't undermine Spain. People are always talking about England because we consume a lot of their media. They are the loudest people on social media as well. So we consume a lot of that nonsense. So Spain's a really good side, dude. We also need to give Triful a round of applause for Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw came in yesterday and it
Mhm.
was incredible for a guy who's been out for so long.
Mhm.
But Spain are
You
really
can't
good.
even
I
tell.
mean, yeah, I mean when they lost Roger, I was like, oof, this could be a problem. And Zubi Mendy was at fault. I mean, for Cole Palmer's goal, a holding midfielder should never be turning his back to a
Mhm.
player shooting. Um, and that ball passes right next to him. He could have blocked it if he's looking. And Spain are a really good side. They create a lot of chances. I mean, they have a lot of quality, and the understanding between each other is also very important. I
Mhm.
think England don't have that understanding. Kane's in Germany, Blitzkrieg, Foden's playing tiki taka with Pep, Bellingham's doing whatever they do with Vinicius and Rodrigo at Madrid. Rice is whatever ticking the ball over at Arsenal.
Is
So
rising there.
yeah, so the I mean the the understanding and all the balance just wasn't there. And I think in tournaments, just always play your most informed players. You have to play Cole Palmer. It's inexcusable for him not to play. Kobe, yes, he eventually showed that he has to be starting for that team when
Mhm.
he took the position from Trent. But all in all, Spain are a better side. And
Mm.
I mean, you saw in the group when they asked the question. For me, there's not even a question. I always knew Spain was going to find the consistency and the energy to beat England.
Trishul, your view?
So I think what she says just hit the nail on the head. You have to play your most informed players. Why was Palmer not playing? Why was Palmer not playing? And the thing is, right, what irritates me with Southgate is if he sees something isn't working, instead of changing it up, he will just keep on throwing shit onto the wall until it sticks. Foden was world class this season. Look, hands down, world class. But there had to have been a point where he realized, okay, this is not working. Play Watkins on the left. Play Gordon on the left. Play Saka on the left, but just play Palmer. And then yesterday, who ended up playing on the left wing was Jude Bellingham. He was
Jude
playing
has never
Jude
played that
Bellingham on
side.
the left.
Mm.
And I'm like, so after the Palmer goal, I was like, okay, you know what? England have done this almost every single round. Now it's going to happen again. And then something just happened with them where like they went forward and then they stopped. And I was seeing on
Yeah,
Twitter yesterday that apparently a minute or two before Spain scored, to make it 2-1, Southgate was bringing on Trippier and Gallagher.
Yes, Gallagher
I'm
had changed. Gallagher was all kitted up. Gallagher was going in.
Yeah, what is the plan there? Are you trying to show it up and then hope you win the tournament on pens? Like, what's the plan there? To bring on, okay, Trippier should have started. Walker wasn't at all like on it yesterday. And I don't know why Trippier didn't come on at halftime, because Walker was just leaving spaces for days behind him. And then the Gallagher thing. Who was he gonna take off? He took off Mainu for Palmer. Who was he gonna take off for Gallagher?
Rice. I'm joking. I think the most confusing part with Southgate is I don't know if you guys watched his post match interview where he said the players are tired, and then I sat there and I'm like to myself, okay, the players are tired. 7 games in a space of a month. You are the same person who plays them game in, game out.
Mhm.
Yet
And no
your
news.
bench is filled with talent that everyone is saying is talent.
Mhm.
Um, Kane is far from it. Kane looks knackered. Kane
Mhm.
looks injured. Like, if we're being honest,
Mhm.
Kane looks like how Enzo was in the later part before he made the decision of going in for surgery. Something is
Mhm.
definitely not right with Kane.
Mhm.
I think they are keeping mum about it, but it will come out. He's Something is definitely wrong there. Um, Ivan Tony should have had more minutes.
Yep.
Watkins should have had even more minutes.
Mhm.
Gordon, who I feel is an energy, an unpredictable ball of energy,
Mhm.
should have played more games.
Yeah. 100%.
Um, yeah, and
100%.
this is just the bench. This is just the bench that I'm speaking on.
Mhm.
Eze, who's also unpredictable, should have played more minutes. Palmer, yeah, that one I'm not gonna speak on much because everyone's gonna say that I'm biased. He's a
No,
Chelsea
but we
boy,
know.
and yeah,
We know that that was the most obvious change there to be made. He could have even benched Saka and people wouldn't have complained. And
yes,
that's what a difference Palm. I mean, you know what, Sishle, when you've done what you've done, and you took, let's be honest, an irrelevant Chelsea and almost
carried
single-handedly got them into Europe.
throughout the yeah, we carried them on the back, on his
Exactly.
back on his
And
yeah.
and this is a kid who left Man City because he had a point to prove. And now you're putting him on the bench in your biggest game as a manager. And you know what? I'm not someone that likes to judge on a 7 game tournament, because you know what? People can be tired, they can be injured, but I think there has to be so many conversations on a lot of these England players, because you know what? If you told me that this was some random Premier League side who the manager was under fire and the players weren't playing for the manager, I would believe you,
Not a top
because
10, yeah, not a top 10 team.
yeah, they were playing like it was like, okay, guys, go and score. If you get the ball, do whatever you want to do.
Uh,
Where's the tactic? You have players who are coached by the best managers in the world who know how to be fluid in any tactical system.
yeah.
And yet you
Uh,
somehow end the game with Jude. I mean, sorry, not end the game, but majority of the game, Jude Bellingham is on the left.
so I've been like online most of the morning, just because I got up early, new father syndrome, I don't know. And everyone is speaking of these moments that England is a moments team. England, the current crop of talent, is not moments FC. Like, they shouldn't just require certain moments to turn it
Mhm.
on and then score, and then that's it. The crop of talent, well, if I look in the middle of the park and the attacking force, they're decent players. And
Mhm.
for them to put them as underdogs and say they are moments FC, moments FC is that tag is given to underdogs. Like, you're not quite sure, and something happens, and then you win, and everyone says it's a smash and grab. And that's the current England side. Southgate is going to get an extension on his contract. I think everyone knows that. But he's way over his head.
Yep.
He tactically, I think the players don't respect him. It's just vibes, and it's the same thing that I laugh sometimes. Madrid, the Don at Madrid doesn't really have to do much of tactical awareness. He's got Vini on the one side, Rodri on the other side, Bellingham in the middle. They know what they need to do. In the middle, he's got Tony. He's got who's the Croatian boy, old man now, and
Modric,
then he's got yeah,
Tchouaméni,
and then he's got that versatile French player in Camavinga. Where Camavinga, you can put him anywhere and he delivers. So Madrid doesn't really need much coaching, so to say. They just know how to win. And you then ask Jude to like, yo, now Southgate has to tell them, okay, boys, I'm taking Walker and I'm putting him this side, and I'm taking Trippier and I'm putting him this side, and I'm taking who's this? I'm taking freaking Trent, putting in the middle. Meanwhile, Trent in the middle was put in as there was a need, as in there were no better players. But now you've got Kobe, who is a better player in that position. Why don't you play him in that position?
But I mean, he didn't have to. They didn't have to complicate it like that. They could have just played Jude next to Rice.
Rice. Exactly.
I mean, you just have your best players on the pitch there too. You need to be positive. I mean, like, imagine if teams like Brazil and those great sides went in with a defensive mindset. Imagine going in a team with two defensive midfielders and just like fullbacks who don't go up and are not adventurous and trying to create chances. We would be robbed of the quality of those sides and the creativity of the attacking players. So now I feel like Tishu was saying, you're gonna bring on Gallagher in a game that you guys were starting to dominate. I mean, that I sent a video to the group for that Durham guy. That Durham guy was going crazy because when they scored that Cole Palmer goal, Spain were on the ropes. I could feel that now it's touch and go for both sides. Anyone who loses concentration now is going to concede the goal. And I think when those subs started going up, the guys on the pitch are like, okay, this guy just went on, this guy just went on. Maybe I'm going off. Let me relax. I'm gonna go off now, right? It shows like, okay, well, Trippier is warming up. More likely to be me because I'm not less fit. Relax. Walker probably thinking the same thing, or maybe we need a more creative. They go through his side. Cucurella is the one who's overlapping. The fullback is the one who creates the goal scoring opportunity, and you could just see from that moment the difference in quality and why you need to have the best players on the pitch at all times. But at the end of the day, we can go on and on about England, gents. We can go on and on about England. I think CJ also spoke about tactics. What tactics? What tactics does Southgate have? I heard you say tactics. That's the one question I wanted, but I wanted to let you finish before I asked you the question. What tactics are you saying they are there?
They're not, because I think and he could have won this had he been on Twitter, because Twitter was saying, take Jude, partner him up with Declan, and then take Foden, put him in front of them, and that's that. And I was like, why is everyone saying the same thing, but yet the England manager doesn't see it? Because to him, he takes Jude and Foden, and he asks them, it's like, okay, between you two, decide who's on the left, who's on the wing, and who's in the middle. And it gets confusing because I do promise you, there were times where Foden and Jude were like together. and they were. So you can't tell who's out of position.
You know what I felt like? I felt like they tried to do some sort of Real Madrid formation in the last 2 or 3 games where the midfield is sort of like a diamond,
Yes.
where now Bellingham is playing that left centre mid, and they hope that if he gets into position, Foden will make space towards the left. But Foden doesn't like being on the left because he doesn't get that inside curl.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
Foden
so the
doesn't get in
balance
behind.
the balance of the team is already off. If you don't pick Rashford, you don't pick Jack Grealish in the position, and people want to play in that natural position, then you're already creating a problem for yourself with the balance of the team. Secondly, you play 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 games with a right-footed left back, and every single time he gets the ball, he's looking infield. The
Yes.
left wing is never gonna play. He's never gonna play if every single time I as a right back I get the ball, I put the ball on my right foot and I'm trying to
So
get the ball into my
that
six.
channel is wasted
That
now.
that left channel, there's nothing. I mean, I don't blame 007. I don't blame him at all. They there was I think tactically there was nothing that was allowing him to excel in how good um he plays in those pockets. He didn't have a chance to play in those pockets because of the shape of the team. So I'm always going to have a big issue with that. Oh, that's bad. Trish. Tulani, can't you see we're trying? Man is trying to enjoy the show, bro. Man is trying to enjoy the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, once you have that problem, you create an issue with your team, and that's the difference with Spain. Spain, the balance is right. We have Rodri cleaning up everything. We have the same thing that Bellingham was supposed to be for England. Um, Fabian Ruiz was for Spain.
Oh,
He was he was the eight carrying the
what a
ball
player.
in and out of the box, helping Rodri in trouble, carrying the ball in the box to get it to Olmo. Olmo was what Foden was supposed to be for England, in those pockets, in and around those centre backs, and getting those 1-2s of Morata and receiving from Bellingham. Um, with Lamal, that's what Saka was supposed to be. More exciting, more fluid in terms of how he gets the ball, but it's too predictable. Gets the ball, two-step, drops the shoulder, comes in. Is less creativity and flow in terms of that, and you can't play those 1-2s because the shape is already off of the team. Um, kudos to Kobe Mainoo. I say the exact same thing when I see him play for Man United. The guy is just too good
He's
to be
playing for the
playing
wrong
with.
team.
Yeah, I mean, put that guy in the Spain team. They're speaking about him on the levels of Gavi and Pedri any day.
Yeah.
Well, just Pedri. Don't mention the other guy. The other guy does not deserve to be mentioned here. You know what? And you know what? I am so happy because this is on a personal agenda. I'm so happy he doesn't get a Euros winner medal because he didn't make the squad because he was injured. Because Fabian Ruiz was looked down, and people were like, oh, the only reason Ruiz is in is because Gavi is injured and this person's injured, that person injured. For me, it was between Rodri and Ruiz for my player of the tournament. Fabian Ruiz was
100%.
like world class,
Yep.
absolutely world
Wait.
class.
So wait, in your list, you didn't include that Yamal kid.
No, I'm saying for the midfielders, Rodri, Pedri, Ruiz. I'm saying
No,
Ruiz
you
was.
said.
I wouldn't.
Oh, you said
Or for player of the
player of the
tournament.
tournament. Yeah.
I wouldn't put Jamal. I wouldn't. I think the person who deserved it most, Rodri, got it. Jamal got young player of the tournament, which he definitely
Yeah, he did.
deserved. But
Can we
I think even that it was between him and
can you
Nico.
speak on that kid? In that there was a lot of hype around him, and he lived up to the hype,
Yep.
and
Yeah,
that
look,
doesn't happen often.
yeah, but we cannot look down on Nico, bro. Nico gave as much as he gave as much as he received from
Yeah.
Yamal. He was just as much as a problem for Spain as Yamal was, and that's what you need. You need the right balance. If we're too right-sided attacking, which England always are with Saka, we want to get the ball into Saka's feet. We want him to do that thing that Yamal doesn't have to do every single time. Sometimes Yamal gets the ball and lays it back in midfield. They circulate it. They give it to Nico. Nico's the one who
Thank you.
gets the chance to create it. If it's Nico's
No,
too tight,
the first goal they scored yesterday was that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You take the ball, you move it around sideways, it comes back. If it's too tight, Walker's in a good position. We switch it back. We bring it into Yamal. Yamal, because Shaw was so good, Yamal didn't get the chances to be as problematic. But Nico then said, "Give it to me. I'll show this 34-year-old
And then
dude
and they
how
went
how
toe
we
to
do it."
toe, double his age. They went toe to
Yeah.
toe, and the one thing that the Spanish team did very well is they can swap these two boys around.
Mhm.
They can move them like from one flank to the other.
Mhm.
So now
Mhm.
you go from someone who's very speedy and someone who's very skillful. So as a defender, you always the one thing that Walker has in his arsenal that no one can take away is his recovery pace. That's one thing that he has. In that you might you might do a step over whatever, but the recovery right there. Yesterday you could
So
see his
so
34.
so so I always think, right, for England, in a situation like England have, where you also have Trent, who's really good. Like we can't look past the fact that Trent is good. Take Kyle Walker and play him centre back. Kyle Walker is not a good attacking fullback. I think he's very good defensively. He gives you the cover if you're the winger, where you don't have to do a lot of tracking back because he's so good and he's so quick. Play him centre back. Play him centre back. Let Trent go in. You have the pace of Walker to cover behind Trent if Trent is found wanting. But you have a bit more attacking threat when you guys have the ball and you create more chances with him on the pole. I mean, for a fullback, that guy creates so many chances, bro. He's right up there with the most best attacking midfielders in the world. That guy.
Mm,
So
yeah.
again, you need to find ways to get your best players on your pitch. I mean, Gueye is not bad. You could have had Gueye and Walker, or Stones and Walker, just to have maybe that relationship that you have at club level. But again, you need to find a way to have your best players on your pitch to create chances. The only way to beat teams is to create chances. That the
Yeah.
reason why Spain won most of the games is because they went there positively trying to score goals, not waiting
Eh,
for
the
extra
Spain
time and so forth.
the Spain team made Morata look like a half decent striker.
Mhm.
He played to his strengths. You play to your striker's strengths. I mean, we know Kane's going to drop in to be the 10, right, and
Mm.
fetch the ball in. So someone needs to get into there. Someone needs to want to be that number 9 when Kane drops in. He receives the ball to want to score the goal. But if we're not
And
doing
that
that
should have
in
been Jude
technically,
because
man,
Jude does that wonderfully for Madrid.
Well, it should
But I
have
think
been
he
we
was
need.
Watkins as
told.
well. Could have been
Yeah,
Watkins. When
yeah.
Watkins came on yesterday and it was for Kane, I was like, there's something definitely not that. That's why I agreed with you when you're saying that Kane could be injured. In which case, Southgate is an even bigger idiot because you cannot be carrying passengers in a knockout
Yeah,
tournament.
yeah.
You
Nah, guy.
can't do that. If Kane is
Like
injured, bench him, start Tony, bring on Watkins.
the
But
irritating
don't have
part is
passengers.
Tony comes in. I think I can't remember what was it the second or third game of the tournament. Actually, no, I lie. It was one of the kickoff. Sorry, the knockout
Knockouts.
games. Yeah, and then he
Yeah,
came
he
on
scored.
for
Oh,
5 minutes.
assisted, I think.
He had an assist and a
Mm,
goal.
mm.
And you feel he doesn't have a shot like playing at least more minutes than he did because the
I mean,
minutes that Tony played were minutes from extra time.
mm. Look. I mean, once it gets to a point where it's desperation, we have to play Tony, because you can see that Tony is the trump card. Like, we need him as a target man. I want to
89
get
minute,
goals up
89
with
minute,
him.
88-minute kind of player.
Yeah, it's not a tactic that you practice in training. Right? You
Mhm.
don't practice that in training. So it's wishy football. And with Lanomand and Laporte were really good yesterday. So
Mhm.
it was always going to be a, yeah, hit and hope um
Yeah,
situation.
but I think
But
there's also a reliance on hit and hope with Pickford. We know Pickford can kick the ball, but how many times did Pickford kick the ball yesterday and every time he kicked it, he gave it to the Spanish guys, and that's possession conceded. But it seems that's an instruction from the manager that
Yep.
okay, you've got a good kick in you, but remember, a good kick just could mean that you cover a lot of space, of which Pickford does very well. Is it accurate? That's another conversation. Which is why I feel when what's his name when Watkins came on, because Watkins plays in these small channels and he is hella quick. So if Pickford gets the ball in that space, that's it. They've got a chance. Kane
Yeah,
doesn't
look,
do that.
Watkins has a better touch there, and he scores the goal. It's 2-2. So they had a
That
terrible touch.
that pass from Jude.
Terrible touch there. I
Kane
mean, he
scores
gets
that
that.
chance. Kane
Yep.
scores that chance, and that's why I
Get a
didn't
good
expect him
chance.
to come off.
So look, personally, I think in that game, two men of the match, and it was the left side of Spain. It has to be Cucurella or Williams. Those guys were really good on that left flank. Balanced Spain out really well. So it had to be either one of them. If I didn't see the man of the match, but they were definitely really good.
Yeah, I didn't see also the man of the match. Can we speak because now Williams, Olmo, and okay, Yamal is not available. Which teams go for them?
Williams is off to Barcelona. That I know is done. They just
So
need to
another
cover
lever.
their wages. But you see, the thing is, we can't even say it's done because Barcelona will agree something, then La Liga will say, "Where's the money?" Barcelona don't have the
And they
money.
say they don't have the money.
Yeah. So,
It's like
but
they
I
give you
think that's
IOUs.
close. Olmo is the shout because he has I think it's like a 50 million pound release clause or something like that that expires in a few weeks. I wouldn't be surprised. You know what, Cheese? I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up at City. I wouldn't.
Yeah, Look. I mean, we were in for him. I mean, a few years ago, remember? But the price tag was too high. They wanted something like 80 million and above for him. So Pep
Yeah,
was
he's
like,
got a
"We're never
release
gonna pay
clause now
more."
for 50.
Yeah, I mean, 50 is more reasonable. I mean, 40 is probably his actual price, 40 or 45 million in actual
Cheese,
pricing. No,
no cheese.
100%.
After the
No, no,
tournament is
I'm
had.
telling you. No, I'm telling you, his actual price should be about 40, 45 million. It
Do you know
shouldn't
that
be more than that. I mean,
Villa have spent have paid 50 bar for Onana.
yeah,
Everton
but
Onana.
remember, so again, it's that Premier League tax. Again, it's you're selling you're to pretty much within the Premier League, so that's going to be the price. And again, I think Onana's what 22, 23, and almost like
Somewhere there.
26,
Let me
27.
I'll check
Almost
for
like
you and I'll tell
25,
you.
26, 27 or something. So he's younger than he's older than Onana. So that price,
Oh yeah,
I
Amadou
think,
is
would be
22.
reasonable.
Yeah, Amadou is 22.
Yep.
I
So it'd be
don't
reasonable
see
for.
any big six team that Olmo would fit in better than City or Spurs because United have Bruno, Chelsea have Palmer, Arsenal have Odegaard, Liverpool have Szoboszlai. I don't see besides City where he would just slot in. Pep will find a spot for him, and with De
So
Bruyne getting older and more injured, it's something to consider.
so
But
so Trishul, the one player I want in my midfield who would make my midfield better is Paqueta. I
oh
think
yes,
I think Olmo, yes, but I think Foden and Olmo would want to play in the same positions.
yeah,
Um, but Paqueta would be good in being the link man because I don't see Kevin being a 40 game player this season, and I don't
Nah,
see
it's done.
Nunez. I don't see Nunez improving our team. He's just a squad player for me. He's going to be another flop like Phillips. So for me, we need to get Paqueta. I understand the Omo thing. It would definitely be a City player. But again, I just feel like we will have too many players in there because remember, we still have the problem of Alvarez. We can't even get him Keita, and he wants to
yeah.
play in that same position.
That is a
I
big
mean,
problem.
I mean, a man who's never lost a
But
final in his life. So
but I think also Paqueta Paqueta is a big gamble. If you were to,
Literally.
he's got Ivan Tony charges hanging over him.
Yep, huge ones, huge ones. So I mean that's why we didn't go for him last season, but because we were willing to pay the asking price. But once those stories came out, I think City were like, "Ooh, handbrake," and we just wanted to get someone in.
That would be the perfect guy for your midfield. Him.
Yeah, let's see.
He would.
You know,
He would.
he's a great player. He's a great player. I mean, to replace
It'd
to
be
be
interesting to see how much he's valued at.
We wouldn't sell him. I don't think we'd sell him. He loves United. I don't think he'd go to City. That's the other thing. He would not. Like he is proper born United. He was a United fan from a little kid, and he loves the club. And but you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if like 4 years Madrid just be like, here's 120, bring. Because that's how good this guy can be.
What, he's
You're
what,
18, 19
19?
years old and you're starting in a a Euro final. And you were one of England's better players throughout the tournament.
Yeah, I, I think the one thing that makes me praise the boy even more is that he didn't start the first game of the tournament, and when he came on, Southgate didn't have a choice but to start him the next game. That speaks volumes about the type of player that he is. I mean, for his age, yeah, these kids, like, what were you doing at 19? Like, career-wise, you were far from where this boy is.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are at a young age already into those football circles. So, I mean, remember when we saw Foden as a ball boy for City, the time we used to playing with Zabaleta and one.
And
These
it was an
guys are
HD
always
picture.
around. I mean, these guys are always already around that level of football because the club has already seen the potential and they have guys who can already see that 2 or 3, 4 years, this guy is going to be incredible. And but we don't have that similar thing. I mean, now, yes, local clubs are starting to do it. I mean, you've seen a lot of the young guys starting to come up in South African football. It's very important to get these guys with around that football environment at a young age. Even if it's a ball boy, cleaning the boots, you fetching the boots, or you're carrying the cones for the warm-ups, you're around that environment. And by the time you're 15, 16, you know how to behave in that situation. You know how to handle the pressure. I mean, there was a time when I saw that kid yesterday. They passed him the ball in the dead ball in the zone. He just protected it, and the guys put the ball and got a corner, a goal kick, and he walked out of that situation. I know many people will panic. They want to kick the ball out and do all of these unnecessary things. That guy's doing that at 18. Imagine what that guy's going to be doing at City when he's 24.
And I feel
there has to be a certain amount of culture that you've put yourself into and grown in, and that's why it's a bit irritating to see all these footballers that are more interested in how they look, or they want to do a TikTok video, or they want to post on Instagram. That's more the worry for them than their performances on the pitch. Paul Pogba, prime example was Paul Pogba. More worried about the dancing, the haircuts. But when it was time for him to actually lock in, yes, he did have a few good performances, but what a waste of and I don't want something like that to happen to me or to Yamal.
I think on Pogba on Pogba, there were question marks around what's missing in the French side right now, and everyone can tell you it's Pogba. But Pogba decided.
Chris, how did you sneak in Garnacho in there? That was quick.
Yeah, he did. I saw that as the last player,
Very sneaky of you, Chris.
We agree. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6.
We need to have a meeting. We need to have a meeting with you, Chris. Trying to sneak in things here.
Guys, come on.
No, man. No, it's far from it. But I know it's that silly season where I think Chelsea, like every team is linked with a different player and
no, wait.
I know there's a rule.
You're also trying to sneak past this one. Chelsea are not linking themselves to players. They're signing every player. Chelsea,
Yeah,
you link
That's
today,
yeah.
tomorrow that player is wearing that Chelsea shirt and is leaving. There's no linking. We are well, the rest of the clubs we are linked. You guys are signing.
It's that silly season, and I know for a fact that you never sign a player just because they've had a brilliant tournament.
yeah.
James being one who actually I don't know if you guys saw he won the Copa
In the
America
tournament.
player of the tournament.
Mhm.
But out of the crop of talent that we've had right now, Man United, two players that you're taking, Man City, Man City, you've got everyone, so you don't, yeah, one player that you're taking.
Taking a player I would like to sign.
Yeah,
No, I said Paqueta, definitely. Of course, there's allegations, but I think Paqueta would be a good addition to our team. But
and then Man
again, we have a
United.
big problem. But wait, I'm just because of the allegations, right? I'm saying in case there's allegations, I think we need to sign a left back. So Theo Hernandez has to be
Oh,
top of my list. Yeah.
perfect. That would be the perfect signing. That would actually be like, the most perfect signing City could make, which
Yeah.
is why they probably won't make it. With United Sichle, look, we've signed Zaxi, so I can't really say, okay, I want a striker. But if you asked me that question last season, I would have put my hand up at any moment of the day and said, just bring Lautaro Martinez.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you know what? I think for us now, we're actually linked with two players that would fit in perfectly. One of them is Ugarte, who I would just rip from PSG, pay whatever they want, because that is another young player that is like elite. And he can
Mm.
be, okay, I'm not going to say he's going to be as good as Rodri now, but he can be such a top class CDM. And honestly, we need another midfielder because I refuse to count Mount as the footballer for United, and we can't be playing Menu 40, 45 games a season when he's
You
19.
you you paid 60 bar for him, so you have to. For that
A-
price tag, he has to play. He has to have some minutes.
And
I just
Casemiro.
see what he does, where he plays, what role
Oh
he
yeah,
plays in.
Casemiro hasn't left. I forgot that.
Yep.
Yeah, he will. I think he will leave, but
With those wages, I wouldn't go anywhere, bro. I'd chill there
yeah,
like
What?
Evans.
I think he's got what 2 years left in his
350.
contract.
No, he has 2 years, 2 years left.
Yeah, he's got 2 years.
2026.
I mean, I'd chill, my brother.
At 350K a week, who's leaving?
No, we've already signed Savio, Crystal.
Yes, yeah, yeah, true.
Savio's already our player,
Yes,
Chris.
yes, yes. Yeah, Krizo is yeah, he's paying attention now because it's that silly season where everyone wants, yeah, everyone is like on Romano's page, like what is this guy saying? But word is Liverpool might get they've offered 85 bar for McGay, the Palace
Oh,
player,
the centre back.
Palace
Okay.
defender. Yeah.
I think that's a bit of overpaying if that's true.
Of
85.
course, he's English. Yeah, he's English, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
So,
even
so
then, too,
mm.
that
terrible.
English tax is about 25 bar alone.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
wouldn't even
yeah,
pay 60 for him. I think he's good. I don't think he's superb or excellent. I think he's good.
yeah,
He's solid, but
yeah, yeah,
40 million max. 40
yeah,
million max. He's
yeah.
not better than Stones.
Look. I mean, if you guys signed Wan Bissaka for 50 million from them at Palace, and 50 million probably reasonable. How old is he? 25?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
young.
Yeah,
24,
he's still
yeah,
25.
he's
young.
not so bad. For
Yeah.
a centre back, that's a good age. And I mean, if you buy him and he doesn't turn into Maguire at some stage, then it'll be a good signing. And I mean, you guys haven't replaced Varane, right? He would have been a good
No, they haven't.
addition for you
Yeah,
guys.
They
it
haven't.
does look like we'll get Delict. We are trying to convince Lenny Euro to sign fast instead of Madrid. Everyone knows how that one is going to go, but I think that Delict is probably the one we'll get. We were in for Branthwaite from Everton, who I think is really good, but they want 70 million for him, so we told them to stuff it. I'm not paying 70 million for another English centre back because we all
Yeah,
know
you've
how
been burnt.
English
Yeah,
media
you've
are.
been burnt before.
Exactly. So I think get Delict, I think it's like 40, 45 million they want from him. Get some other young centre back, someone from, you know what, the guy that Arsenal are pretty close to getting, Calafiori, the one from Italy,
Yes,
who was pretty good.
yes,
Yes. Oh
yeah.
yeah,
He's another one.
Hmm?
my brother. That boy can play.
Mm,
Yeah,
I
mm.
watched Italy. That boy can play, bro. That boy. I
but
mean, that guy. If we didn't spend 100 million
for
for
Jack,
the thingy, no, for
Guardiola.
Vario. I think Calafiori would have been a good addition around this time for us. But that boy can play. I'm
Mm,
glad you actually brought him up because he was one of the things I wanted us to discuss in this show. But Arsenal are in for him, and I think they're gonna get him.
yeah.
yeah,
And for 45 bar as well, for a player like that,
Shit.
yeah.
that's worth it.
Yes.
That's
He's
worth it
what
because he gets a
22
good
as
left
well,
back
no?
and centre back.
22, 21. How old is he?
Yeah, he is very
He's
young.
young.
He is
He's
quite
very
young.
young. Bro. He's gonna be so good in 3 or 4 years, 5 years. I mean, he's Italian as well, so naturally he's just
Yeah.
gonna be incredible.
You just know that the
Um,
defending quality is there. As soon as it's an Italian centre back with long hair, you know the
yep,
defending is
yeah.
is
Yeah, nah, but
Nesta.
I think we're past that stage now. The Italians, yeah, the French used to be
No,
very
look,
good in the middle.
Siche Bastoni, bro. Bastoni as
yeah.
well. Look, he's
Mm,
already
that's
at a good
another,
team. I mean,
yeah,
Inter's a strong team, so it's
That's
very hard
another
to
top
snatch him
level
away. But
centre back.
big fan of Bastoni, bro. The guy is so smart. He never gets caught out of position, yet he's so slow. He reminds me, like you see Matip. You see Matip, and he never used to get caught out of position because he was well positioned in terms of that. He was
Mm,
never caught out for pace. So he's definitely good at that. But yeah, I agree. It does help again, Trishul,
mm,
that you guys are rebuilding Ten Hag's Dutch side, which is another problem that I have with Dutch coaches. That whenever they
mm.
go into a team, they always want to
they
get
go,
their Dutch players.
yeah.
It does create a bit of a problem for them. Well, not for them, but for the other players around, because you can just always sense with because this guy is Dutch and the coach is Dutch, is he
That's
always
why
going
I'm
to be
so
first
keen to see
choice.
what happens at Liverpool because, well, honestly, this is the first time I was even hearing any form of transfer news. You know, the Mark Way thing. I haven't heard anything else about who they're linked with, what their summer plans are, who's leaving, and it's the 15th of July. The season starts in a month.
Yes.
How many players are you going to bring? I know Liverpool are very good at, one, two, three players in the door, but no rumors, nothing like it's going to be an interesting season because Salah is look he's not been the best. Van Dijk is also age has been catching up. I watched it at the Euros. The age has is catching up with him slowly. Their midfield does lack that bit of balance, and well, Nunes is Nunes. So what's the plan? And how much money are they going to have to spend to fix that? Because it's things that they're going to have to fix if they want to compete.
But I think they've got bigger problems, and in them having because it's a cultural shift. Having a manager like Klopp. Klopp is not just a manager where it's the field where he has a say. It's a cultural thing where the whole club speaks his language, and right now he's gone. And I said this last end of last season when he announced that he's leaving, and I'm saying, well, yeah, I said to Shiva, he didn't appreciate it. You are going back a couple of years
Mhm, mhm.
unless your manager comes in guns blazing and he plays the best football that you've ever seen and the players buy into whatever his philosophy is, because unfortunately Dutch managers, they it's either hit or miss,
Mm.
especially when they come
Yeah,
EPL.
look, Dutch coaches, remember, are very technical. They come from a very technical background. So
Mm,
football for them is not solely about running, and it's about positioning. It's about what you do when you get into space. It's all of those things, and I think personally those things aren't easy to coach in one season.
Mm.
Um, the Ten Hag came in, he started building his squad, started getting his players in, and you can see he's trying to do. It's still going to be hard because I think he doesn't have the right squad. Whenever he spoke in interviews, he was always right. And to be fair, he always said when we have a full squad, we're hard to beat. And he was
Mhm.
right. And when they have a full squad, United are hard to beat. But when they lose those key players, they're always backup players who just aren't good enough. Willie
Yeah.
Kambala, not good enough. Uh, who's this one? Bissaka was good, but he's just not good enough anymore.
Yeah,
And
Mm.
you
apparently he's
you
leaving.
look
He's
across
leaving
the
for West
team.
Ham.
You look
Yeah.
across the team, and you can see that problem. And he's on a and the new coach at Liverpool's gonna have that same problem when he comes in this season. He's going to realize that maybe Salah isn't at it anymore. He's gonna need to
Mm.
find someone to play in that position who will do what he needs him to do. They can't play that
Alvarez.
blitzkrieg club football. They're not gonna play that blitzkrieg club football anymore. They can't.
Yeah.
Hmm?
It's gonna be different. It's gonna have to change. Um, and in any case, it's going to take him a while to get his players in because Liverpool aren't the most financially sound in terms of signing lots of players or big money players as well.
Mm.
Yeah, but with the EPL, when you say give him time, you give him 2 months. Next thing, you are a mid-table team.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah,
That's very, very true.
they're going to have to go through that. Liverpool's used to it anyway. They've been mid-table team when they start to rebuild. In any case, I mean, Klopp was. I
Mm.
mean, they weren't playing Champions League last season. So again, if they with getting coaches in now you have to believe in the plan.
Mm.
Ten Hag came in now, he has a few trophies, so he goes into those meetings with a bit more confidence and bass in his voice. And
Nah,
you
nah. I think he
and as an
knows. He
executive,
knows. He knows the writing is on the wall. I mean, the extension was for a year.
Yeah, it
And
wasn't a new contract. It was just an
it wasn't.
extension.
Yeah, it was. It's an
you,
extension they exercised.
Mm.
Cisse, if I'm Ten Hag, right, and you guys are coming to tell me in a meeting that you're gonna fire me, right? And I ask you guys, Arsenal haven't won anything
Mhm.
in 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons, and you guys reckon that um, Arteta's doing better than me when he hasn't won a trophy. He hasn't even had a proper cup run.
No, no. I think
So he has
Arsenal
something to
fans are the
stand on.
only Arsenal fans. All two of them. Oh, okay, are the ones that believe that Arteta is doing something.
You see,
I think
but he's
Arteta
not getting
came in.
fired.
The timing was very much right for Arteta in that a lot of teams that used to be the top six were going through either changes or they were just going through whatever the hell they were going through. Man United wasn't
But
in on
but
it. Chelsea wasn't in on it, and he just literally glided into that position where he's now in the top two, and in him in that he's achieved
but
something.
my point again, he is not under pressure for his job. Yet he's won nothing.
Yep.
The only thing he's won is putting City under pressure, and there's no trophy for putting City under pressure.
Yeah.
City have been doing this for the past 10 seasons, going
Yeah,
against teams, winning trophies on the last day. There's no trophy for putting teams under pressure. Yet
Mm.
United went in, beat City in a cup final. Season before, who beat Liverpool right in a cup final or something. They're there. You go into a meeting like that, and you can have bass in your voice at any point in time. You guys spent 1 billion, and I'd be like, oh, I lose my job, but other coaches get to keep them when they've won nothing. So
Exactly.
they need to invest.
And that was one
And
of the reasons why, like, you'll remember, especially when I first started coming on the show, I was 50-50 on Ten Hag. As the season went on, I was leaning closer to wanting him gone just because of how bad things went. But then when you go and you do that to City in a cup final, it changes a lot. And then also, it's not even just on Ten Hag, it's the fact that you fire Ten Hag, who you replacing him with?
that's the
There's
problem that they had.
there's
Hence, I
no
said
there's
the
nobody.
extension was. He knows for a fact that they went hunting around for a manager,
Mm.
but they couldn't agree as to who that manager was. So
Look,
he
I was
secured his
prepared to give
extension.
him the end of the season, till the end of the season. If we don't make Champions League at the end of the season, then I
But
think
it's
for
a
me
weird
we have
space
to
then
go.
to be in that do you back the manager's vision? Meanwhile, you've signed an extension. Um, if he says he wants the 17-year-old kid, the 17-year-old kid is not going to play. He's not coming into the squad to play. He's a future player. And in him being a future player, it's the same thing that Pochettino had. It's the same issue that Pochettino had, where He had a lot of these young players, but he wasn't really going to coach them when they
Isn't the
peaked.
project though different though now, City now with Ineos in? The project isn't
Yeah.
that coaches are getting the players. They're getting players in for the club to build. It's not necessarily
Mhm.
for the
We
coach.
have
The
a
coach
structure now.
will be informed. Yeah, yeah. Like the coach will be informed that we're looking at these players and is thinking about it to add to the squad. But that's what needs to happen. I mean, Pep doesn't do players. Chiki comes with a list of players and says, Pep,
Exactly.
give me a list of players we're thinking about. You can pick a few from the list, and then they will go and sort that out in the boardroom with the short list of 3 players and so forth. And then get the right. Hey, Shiva, no way. But yeah, I mean, it's the different structure that I assume at United, but it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster. I mean, they've gotten a few. They've gotten. I saw they got in Van Nistelrooy in as well
Yeah,
Yeah,
recently.
Venezuela. Look,
Yeah.
it's why I'm a bit more hopeful because now it's not just the Glazers and Woodward and all these other guys saying, "Okay, Ten Hag, here's your coat, here's your manager badge, good luck." Here it's Ten Hag has people with him. He has a structure above him. He has the right people. He has, and most importantly, he has football people, not bankers and accountants. Like what Cheese was saying. Pep is not going and saying, "Hey, I want this." It's Tiki. He goes, he brings the list, and that's what they need at United. Yes, Ten Hag can have a veto. A manager is not going to say, "Okay, sign a player he doesn't want." They'll give him options, and that's why I'm giving it this season. But there also has to be standards. You can't go 2 years in a row without Champions League because
FA
not
Cup is
just
enough.
based on the standards, but the PSR, financial fair play. United will be like ruined financially.
Mm.
So I think give him this season. Let's get the signings in. Let's see what he does with the fit team because look, we missed Martinez for the majority of last season, and he's come in and he's been one of the best
Shaw is
players.
back. He's going to add value.
Exactly. So those are players that can make the difference. Look, on Rashford, you guys know my opinions on Rashford. I don't know what happens
Actually,
there.
yeah, repeat your opinions on Rashford. PSG, does he go? PSG give you
I
50
wouldn't
bar?
be surprised if PSG come in and say, "Look, we need an Mbappe replacement." But then it's also the matter of, okay, if Rashford leaves, who do we spend 80 million on replacing him? Nico Williams? He won't come to United. He has the world at his feet. He can go to any club he wants. He wouldn't come to
You guys
United.
can you guys can get Eze.
Mm,
But you know what? Eze is one of
no.
those players that's more half midfielder than full on winger, if you know what I mean. Like
Yeah, so he's
he'd
gonna
be
be
more like sort
arguing.
of centrally.
Yeah, Ez is gonna be arguing with Bruno in the middle there.
Exactly.
Yeah, but look, I mean, you already have guys like Garnacho and Pelestri and Anthony and you just
Anthony,
with
don't
Eze. Look,
add him.
no, look, but with Eze, right now you have someone who can play wide and can also play in the pocket, so we don't have to play Bruno every single game. I mean, you guys are also going to lose Eriksen, or is he gone already, right?
No, he's still here, but probably
Yeah,
we will be
You
moving
see,
him on. But yeah.
s- so that means that who's McTominay is the only other midfielder in your side who's gonna replace Bruno if you guys lose him. See, there's a bit of a
Mount.
risk there, right?
If Mount decides that he wants to play football, there's
Yeah.
Mount.
So you see, there's a bit of a risk in that position, right? If Mount
Yeah.
has another season like this again, you guys are gonna be expecting Bruno to play another 50 games on top of the
The
Euros.
problem with United for these past 4 years, Cheese, is if something happens to Bruno, we are screwed. Simple. If Bruno gets in, Bruno was injured in the back part of last season when we caught it from Arsenal and Palace. And that's a problem that needs solving because Bruno is 30 in September. He got, I think, 3, maybe 4 more years at top level. What happens if he gets injured?
And I mean,
Succession has
with
to
the
be.
amount of
Yeah,
football, bro, with the amount of
Yeah.
football, he's one big injury away from you guys having a very difficult season next season if you
Mhm.
don't have anything in there. Um, so again, Eze is a good shout. I mean, there's always better players, right? But if you can get a guy who's already accustomed to the English Premier League, he's going to come in at a 40 million nice cheap price, and you can have him in your squad to supplement it.
Cheese, it's funny that you talk about it because I was having this discussion with my brother a while ago. So, like, you're saying that United need a winger who has the pace and dribbling ability to get past his man, but can also play in the pockets. And the thing is, we have that. His name is Jadon Sancho, but will he show
Yep.
up?
Oh,
I think they buttering him up right now like a fat pig in that they've made peace and smoked the peace pipe with the manager,
Yeah.
and he is gonna play 6 months, and he is gonna be put on a transfer in Jan. Right now, everyone is acting like
I would love a fit and firing Sancho on the left. If we look, and another thing is Garnacho played his best football on the right last season. If Garnacho can play at that form on the right with the fit and firing Sancho on the left, a proper striker. Look, Hoyland will grow into that, but he isn't that now. We'll be fine. We will be fine. But you see, the thing is, it's always if, buts, and maybes. It's always if, buts, and maybes. At City, it's okay. If Foden is having an off game, there's Grealish. If Bernardo is having a bad game, we can put Alvarez there. If Haaland is having a bad or quiet game, they still have everyone else to score. And there, Amad Diallo is another one. But he doesn't get game time because I don't understand what Ten Hag's obsession with Anthony is. Is it because they paid the money and they have to play him?
how much was it? Was it 80 or 100?
It was 100 million euros, so like I think 82 million pounds.
yeah.
Yes, yeah. I'm always
Again,
interested.
again,
Let's
wait,
not have
again.
this
Back to my point, Trishul. Back to my point, Trishul. It's his player. It's a system player. He's my player from Ajax. He understands me, so I'm going to force it until he gets it right there.
Just play
And
him at left
Greenwood,
back at this point, man. Honestly, just play Anthony at left.
Greenwood's gone. Greenwood signed for Marseille.
He's
Trishul.
going to. There's some things going on, but I look.
Yeah, I might have
Don't
missed that.
anywhere near my club. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not a conversation. Diallo is perfect for that role that you were describing. She's perfect, perfect. But he doesn't get game time because of that. And then now is Anthony going to get game time if Sancho is staying? Is Sancho going to get game time if Garnacho is playing better on the right wing? And then all that leaves is the left wing completely open for Rashford, who had a very bad season last season. Is that going to happen again?
Yeah,
So
but I mean,
that
Garnacho's
Marseille
first
move
name.
might be off.
Garnacho's
Greenwood.
first name on the team sheet, by the way. Garnacho's first name on the team sheet for United. I think they say Garnacho, then they start picking other guys. When he
Nah, I
calls
think
the
they
team list.
they go Onana, they go who's the ancient defender who's like what
Geez,
100 years?
you're used to having a ball playing goalkeeper, right? What are your thoughts on Onana?
So for me, Onana is too overconfident. Right?
Yes.
I think it creates a problem because your centre backs, as a centre back myself, I do not want to be getting heart attacks because my goalkeeper is leaving things up to the last inch before he makes a pass. Onana's good, but somehow you need to coach that overconfidence in him out of him. At the end of the day, he's the last line, bro. If you're making a mistake there, you're literally killing the team. So Onana, yes, but I mean that's the same problem they had with him at the national level, right? When they brought him into the team, when the coach
Okay.
actually had a disagreement with him, is yes, you're good. You were a Champions League finalist a season a few ago, but we don't need that overconfidence. That's the sort of time you let 10 people down just because you think you're the superstar in the team and you're not. You're just the goalkeeper, bro. You're just the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's that
And as soon as
Superman
a goalkeeper,
syndrome.
you realize that. As soon as as a goalkeeper, you realize that you are here to serve these guys, and these guys are going to make sure that we win the game. And Nana needs to realize that very early. There's a big difference why Alisson is the best goalkeeper in the Premier League, and he's a good shot stopper, Onana, but we're never gonna rate say he's the best goalkeeper in the league because you always have your heart in your mouth when he has the ball. Um, and then, yeah, it just creates more problems for guys like Maguire. I mean, I'm already struggling, bro. I don't need your shit. Oh, sorry,
Mm.
but I mean, I personally, that's how I feel every time I go
Yeah.
home. In as a player.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
what Rizzo and Truth is saying about Xerxes. Xerxes is one of those strikers that a lot of hold up and dribbling and not necessarily the the box striker, which is what Hoyland was made to play last season, which of course wasn't working. That's not what Hoyland is. But for me, Xerxes, I haven't watched the guy. Besides his few appearances in the Euros, I think he was only like a handful of minutes in any case. I can't say I've watched too much of him. I just know that he's fast, he can dribble, and he's tall. And well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's enough.
So Xerxes was like a left forward, right? So he
yeah,
started as a left forward, and then as he started to grow into age, he started becoming a striker who's like a second striker. I don't know, like not like a center forward, but like a ST, like someone who
like a
was
nine and a
getting
half. I
more.
think that's what they're calling it
Yeah,
nowadays. Nine and a
yeah,
half.
and he was really quick. He was skillful, and again, if you're doing that in the Italian league with those defenders, you are going to be a very high scoring striker in those leagues.
Mm.
So he punished defenders a lot last season. And again, he's on a purple patch now. So I don't know why he didn't start for the Netherlands, which then made it a bit difficult. But he can complement Hoyland, right? Hoyland will always have someone he can play off of
Hmm.
with Xerxes there. But the problem is United don't have the right balance because Bruno doesn't like playing that six,
Yeah,
and and I think Casemiro probably doesn't want to be left alone with someone like Bruno because it'll just create an expose.
yeah.
You'll be able to expose Casemiro in terms of
Mm.
pace, and you always have to create the foul. So they will never be able to play them together. But I think Xerxes can play the left wing if you if you see what I'm trying to say. But
Mm.
if you experiment and try to see how you can get him, because then you have a striker who's playing on the left wing, similar to what Rashford was for United.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, it's an option, I guess.
Look, it's something that I would take because we lacked goals. Last season, we lacked a lot of goals without Rashford, scoring. And on our right wing, there was nothing going on unless Garnacho was there. Hoyland did do well here and there, but it was just, like with City, a goal can just come out of nowhere from anyone. At United, it was more of the same of, okay, give it to Bruno and hope something happens. And even closer to the end of last season with Chelsea, they was getting goals from everywhere. It wasn't just Palmer. So I think with Xerxes, if that's the kind of player he is, look, I'm all for it. It wasn't that expensive, anyways. I think he cost 34 million, which is nothing in this market for a young striker. Hoyland was like 65. So I'm not opposed to it. I just felt like we needed someone.
That's the last area that you wanted to go right
Yeah,
ahead and have reinforcement.
yeah. Look, I mean, I always said I would have taken someone like Taremi on a free, but I think he's off to. I don't know if it's Inter or Juventus. But I mean, like our midfield and our defense needed the upgrade more. Casemiro is washed in the first half today in that friendly. The guy is just it's sad to see because that's like one of the best CDMs of our generation, and then to see him like this, in a friendly against I don't even know what country Rosenborg, I think Norway or something like that, and he
Probably
just looked
Swiss.
so out of it.
You either
Yeah,
die a superhero or you live long enough to become a villain.
I'm
Shivar knows
Pavilion.
that line.
True,
Mm.
true.
Alright,
Guys,
let me be out,
I think
boys.
yeah, I think we can call it. It's time to put these little ones to bed because Cheese and I have been very busy. But guys, thanks for participating, our keyboard warriors. You guys are the shit right now. But yeah, a month before EPL kicks off, we'll definitely have more episodes where we're gonna be the gossip part of football. But yeah, the Euros football won. End of the day, Euros were boring. AFCON was much better. If you
100%.
if you want to argue
100%.
with that, go play in traffic. But yeah, once again, guys, thanks for tuning in. We're calling it.
You,
It's
you,
it's been a good therapy session.
yeah, you forgot to mention Messi again.
The
Campeón.
GOAT.
Hey,
The
Yep.
GOAT. Again.
They didn't give him the lingerie this time. I thought they were gonna give it to him again.
are we worthy? Are we worthy to even speak of thy man? Because
Ah,
that
it's okay.
I saw Di Maria
I
crying
think
also
this
because
is where
he
he
just
retires
retired.
from
Yeah,
internationals. Go
yeah,
out on a high. Go out on a high,
yeah.
enjoy your football in the US, and then just have your happy ending because he deserves it.
Yep. Yep.
That he does. Let's cry with Cristiano over missing a penalty, who is holding back the Portuguese side. But anyway, guys, it was good. We will.
Yes, sir.
I. Tulan, go sleep. Cheers,
This
guys.
guy, the guy
Let's
who
call
does
it
this.
there. Let's call it there before this becomes another half hour.
Chop, cheers.
All right. See you
Sure.
guys.